sometime today. There we go. Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parco. I'm here with Francisco Rubacava.
How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing good. This is not my first time live today.
Yeah,
This is third.
that's
Um,
awesome.
but it's important to get out there, tell people what's going on. I know the name of the show today is Why Are You Still Renting in 2023? We did a 2022 before a couple times, but it's still the question is why are you not owning a home, getting in the market? If you need help understanding that, get my book, get edsbook.com or go to Amazon, type in Ed Parco, get it. Or if you can't afford it, if you can't afford it, then you can't buy a house. I was going to say, CB, I'll send you one. If you're agents and like some copies, I can get you copies so that you can hand them out to your clients. And what I recommend people do is get a handful and then like check them out like a library.
Yeah, I think it is very important, like you said. The importance of trying to have as many people know and understand, what's going on and what's been going on and how we see the future of real estate. And it's always just been a steady increase. So, I mean, it's funny. Like I was just with Fabian. Actually, we were taking him out. I was taking him out to see
You mean one of
houses.
your clients?
Yeah, one of our clients. So we were out there.
Nobody knows if I have a client.
No,
So they know if you have a client.
yeah, no, but yeah, we were out there, seeing stuff and everything, and it's funny because we were kind of talking about the state of the market and everything, and he's like, well, I don't know, do you think I should wait a bit? And I'm like, well, I don't, truthfully, because I mean, every time, it's like I've always said, and I've said it many times, I'll say it again: if you can go to a lender, get approved, comfortably afford it, you're ready to go. There's nothing that should hold you back. And it's funny. I mean, it's like I told him, I said, you never hear a tenant be like, or no, you never hear a homeowner be like, man, I wish I was renting this place. Like it's always, it's always the people that are renting that are like, man, I wish I own. So a lot of the times, and it's crazy to me too, because sometimes, I mean, I'll have people that are like, hey, like I want to buy, and they're like, when do you think I should buy? And I tell them, well, I think now's the right time, right? And then they'll always kind of try to come back and be like, well, this is why I want to wait. And I'm like, well, you need to also consider the bigger picture, right? Because a lot of the times it's like everyone tries to be like an investor, right? And think, oh, I'm gonna buy it at like the perfect time. But I mean, that's so hard and unpredictable. It's just not realistic.
No, and what was funny about your client, he said yesterday when he's like, man, it's going so fast.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not trying to make it go fast. We're just like, this is how it works. Once we get into contract, we can be done in 9 days, and that's not the 8 minimum, and it's not a big deal for us to do that. However, not everybody's ready for that. Not everybody's ready to move. Not everybody's ready to get out of the house. So and the whole process to start is so quick. It doesn't have to take that long. If you're not approved by somebody within 20 minutes, you're going to the wrong place.
Right. And
unless there is like you have to get a verification of employment because unique situations with their income and certain things, I get that. But in general, W-2 wage earner, the hours that they work, and they work 40 hours a week, you have those numbers, you shouldn't have an issue.
Right. I think too, a lot of the times when people are like going out there and like trying to look for it too, I mean, sometimes people also are getting kind of like, like BS approvals, right? Where they're not the best. And then also,
you mean like a prequal?
Or prequel, yeah. And they're not really like a lot of the times, with those hidden fees and everything, like that's another benefit of working with somebody like yourself, that you have, I mean, a ton of different options, and you're also not charging an arm and a leg for it.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, I just set it up to where we don't have to make our month off of one person. You know what I mean? And we don't advertise on the TV because that's expensive. And so if you see companies that are advertising on TV, there's nothing against them. But look at the fine print. The fine print will hurt you. So be very careful. Always read the fine print. On TV, pause it and read it. And they'll tell you, oh, we're doing a loan amount of this amount, and we're doing 2 points, which is 1%. Each point is 1% of the loan amount.
Yeah,
so 2 points on 400,000 is $8,000, and you don't necessarily need to do that in this market. I know in the past when rates were going up, people were buying the rate down so low with the buy downs and everything else. Yes, you can do that, but the way the rates are going and trending and what we're going to see May 10th, I don't see that we need to do that. And I think we're still going to, once this gets all settled, the Fed is going to get back to the zero rate environment, which is not the greatest rate environment unless it's for us. And we're doing a lot of loans, but the problem is going to be we still don't have enough inventory. So
then that's been the biggest challenge.
it's people don't realize in California, we normally do 450 some thousand homes a year. Last year we did 250 some thousand. That's almost 50% decrease. I know it's not exactly, it's like 64 or whatever, but then we're only at 46% of the inventory so far this year that we had last year. So that what we're only going to sell 175,000. We'll divide that by the whole state of California. That's a lot of loan officers and real estate agents are going to go get a different job.
Yeah.
And please leave now.
And and I think like even like to piggyback off of the whole thing of like those numbers being different, that's where we always try to explain to everybody is like, for example, even just having a second consideration with you, right? Because a lot of the times it's like you're saying, the fine print, it looks pretty, right, up front, like the main things that are highlighted, it's like, oh, that looks awesome. But then like if you were to go like with you and see that stuff, and then you see the difference because you guys don't charge much, so if people were to see that, like it's not like you're getting that super pretty rate for free. Like they're sneaking it.
There's nothing for free in this world. And when people think the world should be fair, the first thing my dad taught me is life's not fair. And if I know that, please, I'm not going to pick on youngsters, but there is a segment of population who thinks everything should be free and fair, and that's not how life really works, unless you're in certain democratic cities. But we'll move on.
No, I mean even in even in the history books, I remember in high school.
I know, but they're not thinking now like that. That's the problem.
No, I think it's funny. That's actually one of the quotes that I remember. I don't even remember from who it was, but in my history book there was like this one segment. It said when you come into this world, the world owes you nothing. And I mean, that's there's nothing truer than that. You do, and it's like you said earlier, right? I mean, you obviously also need to have a certain sense of responsibility and a certain will to want better for yourself, your family, and your future.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think again, I mean, like you're saying, a lot of people, and especially when we see kind of what happens, and with economy, like that kind of mindset is what leads to our downfalls, right? So I think realistically, and again, I mean, it's not like that's the audience that we're reaching out to, is those people that don't exactly seek it. But if you are listening, have a little change of mind, right? Like think
they're not on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, so you're not even going to talk to
them. You know what I mean?
But the thing is all I'm saying is you're not helping yourself with that attitude, a victim attitude, the whole I'm a victim, all that kind of stuff. You're not help. Everybody else looks at you and goes, I'm going to go buy a house. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this, while you're still there. And that's the problem. So stop, look at life and differently. Go get some books, read them, understand where really where the life is. But then back to the whole thing about costs. And I don't care how many times I can talk to somebody. I lost one refinance of a veteran that was sent to me, and it was because they were talked to somebody who sold them on buying down with 2 points. And the fact that the very end of the loan, they saved 15 grand more than they did if they went with my loan that had no points, but took them 222 months to break even. They were so beat up by the other guy, and he had said so many things to make them believe him, right? Because he was sold by the phone. I totally understand this mentality, because that was me back 18-20 years ago when I sold by the phone. You couldn't beat me by the phone, because that's just what we did and how we sold certain things. But then I woke up because I didn't know any better, and now it's like, this is not the best program. My program, before in 24 months, less than 18 months, you have a payback and you make it all the way through. However, yes, you do save 15,000 more in interest if you stay in this house for 30 years, but you're not staying here for 30 years, right? You're not even staying here for 20 years. You're probably not staying here for 15 years. That you can't look at it that way. You have to look at payback right away. And that's the one thing about people buying down rates right now. They're buying them down thinking they're going to be in this loan for a very long time, and they're not. Use that money for closing costs and save your money, and pay the difference of $50 or $100 a month if it is a difference in that payment for the next 30 months, right? But you're not going to. You're going to do it within a couple months. I mean, a couple of years, you're going to be refinancing within a year. And the issue is values in California are going to skyrocket because of what we just went through with that shared appreciation loan, right? They just took 300 to 400 houses off the market and the whole state that could have went to somebody else, right? And I'm not saying they don't benefit from it. I'm just saying it just added more fuel to the fire that was already there.
Yeah, I think it's like
because I don't want to come across wrong. I'm just saying it wasn't the best. Yeah, it was a good program, but it wasn't the best thing for right now with the limited inventory.
Right. I think it just slingshot us for faster. Like the competitiveness that we were anticipating, I think it's only going to come faster because of it. You know, I actually heard that it's only been 150 million of it that was used. I'm not sure exactly.
Well, that means that. So that means funded, probably closed.
Right. Well,
that
I mean, if you think about it, how could they have closed that fast?
No, because once you get in contract, then you do AUS, then you reserve your funds. So all the funds have been reserved.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that they might not have 20 million or 10 million left over when it's all said and done. And, and then they probably will hold on to it instead of throwing it back out there so everybody can attack it.
I don't know. It's crazy because I mean, you even look at, from what I was hearing too, that they were getting the CalHFA, how they need to go through with the counselor and everything. I heard their appointments are booked until the end of next month.
Yeah. Well, but they say if you keep calling daily, you can get in because people cancel.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, they can't keep their appointments or whatever. So you can get in earlier. Some people have gotten in 5 days by keep calling. Yeah. And they're all going, stop calling. Who keeps telling you to keep calling?
No, that's funny. Yeah.
Francisco Rubalcaba Jr. did.
And with that too, I mean, imagine if it ends up taking longer, right? Like, I mean, with it
doesn't matter as long they can extend the escrow.
With a rate lock though, like, is that going to cost quite a bit on there?
No, it's Cal half a conventional. I mean, rates are going to go down, not up. So
I think as we lead forward too, right? And as we're going into summer and what we've been seeing now is that we still do anticipate things to get really busy. I mean, we just helped someone get into, well, hopefully, keeping our fingers crossed, right? But hopefully we'll be able to get them in contract with $10,000 in credits, which is
unheard of right now.
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, and it's still, that's why like Ed and I, when we're working together and we're helping everybody out, that's the goal, is find those kinds of properties too, find those kinds of opportunities. And I mean, shoot, I was out Easter Day with this client from like 5 until like 7:30,
What did your mom think about that?
She was all right.
Did she guilt you there?
And it's like, and it's funny because it's like I was telling him, I was like, he was like, hey, let's go see it, because we were making that.
Mijo, when you coming over, Mijo?
Well, it was more like, Mijo, why are you leaving? I was right there. But it was funny because it's like I was
only Spanish I know besides cervezas.
Mijo, cervezas. What else? Tequila.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, but yeah, it's like we were out and we're seeing properties and everything, and we were still making the effort to go for the Dream Act, and that's the thing, is it's like I told him, being realistic, I was like, hey, it's probably not going to go through, but he had a little bit of hope, so I said, why not?
What also helped him get into the momentum. If he wouldn't have had that push, he might have waited a little bit longer. Now he's like, okay, I'm ready,
right?
And he can go FHA without it, or it's fine without it. It would have been great. He would have liked the money. Everybody would have liked the money, but what are you going to do?
Right.
So our whole purpose today was to talk about stop waiting. Don't wait for summer. Don't wait for whatever you're waiting for. It's going to get worse. That means more and more people coming on to look for homes and buy homes. I've had more people reach out again. I'm sorry, I keep saying stuff over here and it's ignoring me. Reaching out to get qualified and move forward. And I'm not talking pre-qual. I'm not talking pre-approval. I'm talking fully underwritten pre-approvals. So, and that's important in this market. So you can check that third box, and that they know, hey, these people are good to go.
Yeah. So it's all about looking strong.
That's right. All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for listening to us. And Francisco will be back here on Thursday.
Yep.
All right. Soon. And if you need help, reach out to him. He's right there on the screen, 209-493-2400. And I'm Ed Parco everywhere.